Good morning, students. Today we are in the continuity of the dynamics of machinery in the third year mechanical, and the today's topic is clutches. Then, what is a clutch? A clutch is a mechanical device which is used to engage and disengage the engine to the transmission or a gearbox. Basically, these clutches are of frictional clutches. In this, a frictional clutch has its a principle of application in the transmission of power shafts and machines, which must be started or stopped frequently. So, for the transmission of energy to the gearbox or transmission box, the clutch is the main mechanical device. It is to engaging and disengaging the condition of a engine. Then when the clutch is in the engaging position, the energy or the power or the rotary motion of an engine crankshaft is transmitted to the gearbox and then to the which is connected to the rear wheels. So when the engine power is transmitted to the crankshaft and then these crankshaft to gearbox, then only the gearing wheels or the power wheels will be operated. When the clutch is in the disengaging means the engine power doesn't reaches the gearbox, then automatically it doesn't move the wheels or running wheels, which are although is in the condition of a engine. So in automobile, the frictional clutches is used to connect the engine to the driven shaft. So these clutches is allowed to shifting or changing the gears when the vehicle is in running. So automatically these clutches will play a vital role for engaging and disengaging or transmission of the power which is coming from the engine to the rear wheels. The proper alignment of bearings must be maintained and it is should be located as close to the clutches as possible. It may be noted that the contact surface should develop a frictional force that cannot be pick up and hold the load with a reasonably low pressure between the contact surfaces. And at the same time, the clutch is also used to allow shifting and changing. So the clutch has to be disengaging to the uh, stop of an vehicle and also at the time of idling. Then this is the picture or components of a simple clutch. Here it is a here it is the flywheel, and what is the clutch plate and pressure plate and the clutch cover and diaphragm spring to transmit throughout the bearing. So this is the main components of clutch is nothing but the clutch plate and the clutch cover and pressure plate also. These are the main devices which are uh, available in the clutch. Then the heat of frictional should be rapidly dispatched and tendency to grab the should not be minimum. Then what are the different types of clutches what we are having is disc or plate clutches, cone clutches and centrifugal clutches. Then when a clutch plate is the bearing which are forked to move here. When a pedal is pressed down, this is the uh, clutch pedal which is to be pressed down. It linkages forces the thrust release bearing to move in towards the flywheel and pressing the longer end of the lever. With that, the pressure will applied and the forces to turn on their suspended pivot, and the pressure plate moves away from the flywheel by the knife edge follower, and there may be compressing the clutch springs. So with that, thereby this action removes the pressure from the clutch plate, and thus it moves back from the flywheel and the driven shaft becomes stationary. On the other words, when the foot is take off away from the clutch pedal, the thrust bearing moves back by the lever, and this allows the spring to extend and the pressure plate pushes the clutch plate back towards the flywheel. But due to that, this movement of the case with the pressing of the clutch pedal towards the operation to the flywheel, and disengaging is the towards back of the flywheel. This is the main intensity of pressure or axial pressure exerted by the spring, that is provided by the frictional force in the circumferential direction. When the relative motion between these, the driving and the driven members tends to take place, if the torque due to this frictional force extended the torque to the transmitted, there is no slipping takes place, and the power transmitted from the driving to the driven in a smoother manner and successful manner. Then, what is the principle of a clutch? What is the principle means, when the two surfaces are brought in contact, they are held to be against to each other due to the friction between them. They can be moved to transmit the power from driving to driven. Okay, this is the main principle. And what are the parts of a clutch is, it consists of a driving member and driven member and an operating member. Mainly the driving member has a flywheel which is mounted on the engine crankshaft, and then the disc is bolted to the flywheel, which is known as a pressure plate or a driving disc also. Then the driven member is called a clutch plate. This plate can slide freely to and fro on the clutch shaft. So to and fro is nothing but while we are releasing the clutch or pressing the clutch. Okay, this is the main clutch plate is the main thing for applying of the transmission. The operating member consists of a pedal or a lever which can be pressed to disengaging the driving and the driven plate. Then what are the requirements of a clutch? It should engage gradually to avoid sudden jerks. So while we are engaging the clutch, we have to maintain a common or a gradual relation between the driving and the driven to avoid the sudden jerks. It should be easily operated, that is, it has to consume minimum physical effort at the time of engaging and disengaging. So we have to maintain a certain uniform pressure on a clutch pedal in order for engaging and disengaging. It should be dynamically balanced and it should be free from slip when engaged. So whenever while we are engaging in the uh, clutch to the flywheel, we have to be aware of that there is no slipping is to be occurred. If any slipping is there means there is no power transmission between uh, flywheel, that is driven, and the driving shaft. Then the wearing surfaces should have long life. What are the wearing surfaces? What we are having, either flywheel or driven shaft and clutch plates. These are all to be in a position of having longer life. Then it should be easily accessible and have simple adjustment. So these are the main uh, operations or requirements on a clutch. It should be able to dissipate long amount of heat which is generated during clutch operation due to the friction. While we are engaging this clutch to the flywheel, so there is the flywheel which are of a very high speed of rotation. Due to that, these clutch may engaging means we have to maintain a damped vibration in that. So we have to be a suitable mechanism to avoid the damped vibration and heat resistance due to the friction. Then what are the types of clutches? So we know disc and cone and centrifugal clutches what we are having uh, in the basically norms of the clutches, but here we are clarify or classify the main types of clutches as positive clutches and gradual engaging engagement clutches. So here we can see the diagram, the flywheel to the clutch. Okay, the flywheel to the clutch is in the engaging, that means it is a closely related, and disengage means these two are of individual. So what is the difference between engaging and disengaging? We can see in this diagram the positive clutch and the gradual engaging clutch. The positive clutch is a dog clutch which are showing in the figure. In this case of engagement position, the two shafts are rigidly connected and must revolve at same speed. So these positive clutches are of the shaft which are rigidly connected and must revolve at a same speed. In case of disengaging the position, the two shafts are entirely disconnected. This type of clutch is not suitable for the use in between engine and gearbox. Okay, this is engaging means these are closely connected. Disengaging means they will move away from the relation between engine and the gearbox. And then we are having a single plate and multiple plates also of clutches. In a single plate clutch, which is commonly used in cars and very lighter vehicles, which consists of a clutch plate whose both sides are faced with the frictional material. Here the clutch plate is consists of both sides are to be frictional material. It is mounted on the hub which is free from moving axially along the splines of the driven shaft. The pressure plate is mounted inside the clutch body which is bolted to the flywheel. During the engagement, both the pressure plates and flywheels rotating with the engine crank, and the primary plate pushes the clutch plate towards the flywheel by a set of strong springs which are arranged radially inside the body. There are three layers are available in the pivoted suspension section from the case of the body. These are arranged in such a manner so that the pressure plate moves away from the flywheel by the inward movement of thrust bearing. And then these when the clutch is engaged position, the clutch plate remains gripped between the flywheel and the pressure plate. So frictional lines are provided on both the sides of the clutch plate. So on one side of the clutch plate is in contact with the flywheel and the other side of the clutch plate is with pressure plate. So due to this, there is a friction on both these sides. And the friction on both the sides means there is a more frictional resistance is to be required, and the clutch plate revolves the engine and flywheel. Therefore clutch transmits the engine power to the clutch shaft. The clutch shaft is connected to the transmission or a gear of a automobile. Thus clutch transmits the power from gear to engine. Then when the clutch plate is disengaged, there is no power to be transmitted. So the clutch pedal is pressed. Disengaging means clutch pedal is to be pressed. Because of this, pressure plate moves back and the clutch plate is disengaged from the flywheel. Thus the uh, clutch shaft stop rotating even if the engine flywheel is rotating. In this position, power doesn't reach the wheels and vehicle also stops running. Single plate clutch is of looking like this. So same as usually for any clutch, these are the main parts, that is flywheel and crankshaft and driven shaft. This is the clutch pedal what we are here, and the suspension of the springs to move the clutch pedal moving into the flywheel of the relation and the pressure plate also. And then these are all for smaller vehicles we are using, or that is lighter vehicles we are using a single plate clutch. For multi plate clutch, it consists of more than one clutch, constantly to single plate clutch which consists of only one plate also. This is the case mostly we are using for racing cars and heavy motor vehicles also, to transmit higher torque. Okay, where the higher torque is to be required, there we are using multiple plate clutches also. The inside discs are fastened to the driven shaft to permit the axial motion. The outside discs are held by the belts and that are fastened to the housing, which is key to the driving shaft. Therefore, the multiple clutches are extremely used in the machine tools which are available for to deliver the maximum torque. These plates are alternatively fitted with engine shaft and of gearbox. These plates are firmly held by the force of coiler springs and they assembled in a drum. One plate slides in the grooves on the flywheel and the next plate slides on the springs provided on the pressure plate, so that we can get it the grooves onto the flywheel and the splines on the pressure plate. If you two consecutive plates, then we will go for the clutch plate is pressurized with the pressure plate and moves back against the force of coil. Then the clutch plate are disengaged, the engine flywheel and the gearbox are discoupled. However, when clutch plate is not in pressed, the clutch remains in engaging position, then the power can be transmitted from the engine flywheel to the gearbox. This is the diagram of multiple plate clutches. See, here the same thing when the frictional liners which are available here, these are the main associated to the frictional springs. So the disc is connected to this flywheel. A system of n number of clutches are to be contacted with the flywheel. So with that, we are having a so many number of clutches means we can get it the major power that can be required to transmit the engine or rear wheels also. Actually, what are the number of pairs of contacts? Okay, in single plate clutch, we are having two pairs of contact. In multiple plates, what are the number of requirements of contact pairs is to be required is to be followed by a formula n is equals to n1 plus n2 minus 1, where the number of discs on the driving shaft, that is n1, the number of discs on the driven shaft, that is n2. So based on this formula we can get it the total frictional torque acting on the frictional surfaces is T is equals to N mu W R. R is nothing but the mean radius of the frictional surface, that is 2/3 R1 cube minus R2 cube divided by R1 square minus R2 square. These are the different formulas we need to remember for the finding the frictional is to be required in a clutch plate. Then coming to centrifugal clutches. So these centrifugal clutches are usually incorporated in a motor pulley. It consists of a number of shoes on the inside of the rim of the pulley. This is the rim, and we are having here two shoes. Okay, clutch shoe, that is in the, which is shown in the blue color, and we are having here, it is two clutch shoes. In between these two, we are having a spring. Okay, this spring will connect these two shoe clutches. So when we press the clutch, these clutch shoes will operated in the direction of this. So it consists of the number of shoes. The radial clearance between the shoe and the rim being very small as compared to the radius of the rim. So what is the gap inside of the shoe? The gap is of very minimal when compared with the radius. So therefore it is to be neglected. If however the radial clearance is given, then the operating radius of the mass of the center of the shoe from the axis of the clutch, that is which is connected to the engine shaft, what is the center, that will be R1, that is equals to R plus C. So the radius of the rim and the clearance is also to be considered when the clearance is more. So in order to determine the mass and sizes of the shoe, we have to make a formula for centrifugal force which are acting on the each shoe is m omega square r, where m is mass of the each shoe. This is the diagram of clutch, centrifugal clutch. This is the one shoe, and another one is the second shoe. These two are connected by the springs, and the centered one, a rod is there. This is called the engine shaft to, while we are moving of the condition. Then the centrifugal clutch is consists of the shoe which are all in the radial condition. The centrifugal force acting on each shoe is at running speed, that is the P is equals to m omega square r, and the inward force on each shoe exerted by the spring at the speed at which the engagement begins to take place is Ps is equals to m omega 1 square r during the engagement. Then therefore the net outward force, or the net outward radial force which are coming out from the pressure of the shoe against the rim is Pc minus Ps, that is the frictional force is equals to mu into Pc minus Ps. What is the frictional torque? Force into distance, that is force into the radius, mu into Pc minus Ps into, or this is the mainly formula we have to remember. Then what is the size of a shoe means? Either it may be a length and width of the shoe. We know that is the intensity of pressure exerted on the shoe, that is P, which is to move the, or which is the shoe press against the rim, that is A into P, that is area of the shoe, that is length into breadth, L into B into P, that is the pressure intensity what we have learnt in the mass, that is Pc minus Ps. So from these expressions we can get it this centrifugal tensions, or centrifugal clutch frictional. Okay, then centrifugal clutches are having a advantages that these are simple and inexpensive and need little maintenance, and the centrifugal clutch is automatic. Any kind of control mechanism is not necessary. So no need of separate control mechanism, since the centrifugal clutch is automatic. So it doesn't help to prevent engine from stalling. So the engagement speed can be preciously controlled by selecting the spring. But the disadvantage is loss of power due to the friction and slipping. The frictional loss of the clutch is more, so that the loss is more. Then this type of clutch not appropriate for the high amount of torque and the shoe, which will slip at the higher load conditions also. This engagement at full or near uh, full power shoes get heated very quickly. It may causes for overheating also. Then electromagnetic clutches. These electromagnetical clutches, in the name itself, that is electrically and magnetically. That is, these clutches are operating electrically, but they transmit the power mechanically. Hence, they are used to transmit, referred as electromechanical clutches. Then the clutches engagement, how these are engaged, how these are disengaged. Engagement, you can easily says that engagement means whenever the power or the current flows through the magnet, that will be causes a engagement. When we cut off the current flows through the magnetic field, it may go for this disengagement. So when the clutch is activated, the current flows through the electromagnet and producing a magnetic field. The rotor portion of a clutch becomes magnetized and set up a magnetic loop that attracts the armature. This armature is pulled against the rotor and frictional force is generated at the contact. Within a relatively shorter time, the load is accelerated to match the speed of the rotor. Therefore, they engaging the armature and the output hub of the clutch. In that most instance, the rotor is constantly rotating the input all the time. So whenever the current flows through the electromagnetic field, they will produce magnetic field and the armature, and this magnetic field will magnetized and set up a magnetic loop which attracts the armature. Then disengagement. So whenever the current is removed from the clutch, the armature is free from the shaft. In most of the designs, the springs holds the armature away from the rotor surfaces when the power is released and creating a small air gap also. Then these electromagnetic clutches consist of a engine flywheel provided with electrical winding, and a driven plate is lined with frictional material which is provided. It is free to move on a splines of a transmission shaft. A pressure plate is provided for engaging and disengaging the clutch. The operation of the clutch takes place when the electric current is passed through the electric winding incorporated on the flywheel. When the winding gets energized, the pressure plate is attracted by the and engaging of clutch takes place. The clutch disengages takes place when the supply to the winding is cut off. And the advantage is the complicated linkage is not required to connect the control or clutch. High initial cost and operating temperature is limited. The risk of overheating due to the engagement, the brushes used to energize the coils or need to be periodically checking. So this is the electromagnetic clutches. This is the winding and the pressure plate and the frictional lines. Same, all those are simply on off the clutches, but only the thing is the winding, that is to create the electromagnetic magnetic loop to the armature to attract the armature. So this is there only the content is winding is to be required, but the remaining all the parts are all same. Okay, then Any queries?